you believe it? We're finally here, our final online class. I'm so excited that you all have pressed for the marketing of going. I hope that something that has been shared has been impactful and that will help you in your writing journey, your writing content, to showcase and highlight your business, all the great work that you've done. So I could not end the class without giving a little information on social media. So this is not a class on how to develop, start, use, all that type of things with social media. It's just basically a class talking a little bit about the content, right? Because this is a writing content class. So you definitely want to make sure that you are writing content and you are sharing it on social media. And so this is basically will focus on some of that. And everything that you've done already is just going to be repurposed to use for social media. So again, it's so important because the impact that social media has on your brand, the influence that social media can have on your brand is so important that I just had to take a moment to pause and make sure that we talked a little bit about this, make sure that you are very intentional about the content that you're writing and the content that you're sharing because it can have a lasting impact on your business. It can grow your business, right? And so we definitely want to take some time to talk about that. I'm sure you're already aware of a lot of the benefits. We're going to go back, sorry. A lot of the benefits and the things of that. So the objective is just really to kind of go over that again, right? Explore how you can share some of your stories and what you should do and some strategies and things of that nature. So that's what we're going to briefly do today. And so I'm sorry, throughout this whole 9 weeks, I've been flopping through the video slides. So thank you all for your patience with me when doing that. And so I'm glad that you were able to follow along with me. So again, this is just a reminder of something you already know. I remember growing up, I am over 40, but growing up, we didn't have social media and things like that. So how people got their message to us was through the power of commercials, right? Sharing commercials now through billboards and things of that nature. That's how we got the information. Newspapers, things like that, radio ads, all of that. And so a lot of it was local, right? It was local to where I was at and things like that. It's so different now. You have the ability to reach someone across the world, right? Back in my day, as a small business, a growing business, thinking about starting a business, the financial ability to be able to afford a commercial or a radio ad and things like that was not in a lot of people's reach. So the great thing about this is it is in everybody's reach, right? And of course, you have to develop strategies on how you're going to get that content out, how you're going to reach a broader audience. But the fact is that you have the ability to do that because we all have the ability to use social media and the platform. So that is it. We are all at the same starting point. And that's a good thing. And that's a great thing, right? And so it's not just about the message getting to my local city or state. You can actually get this around to all the people who would want to use your service or would want to buy your product. And so that's why I don't want to miss on the opportunity of us really taking time out on making sure you're very intentional about taking the stuff that you've already created and how do you write that content for social media, or how do you take that content and create a video ad, right, to share. And then remembering some of all of the key things that we already shared about, that's what you're going to put in sharing social media. So yes, it's cost it's cost affordable for everybody to do this, but also this gets your brand out there. It gets it visible for others to see it. So that's why this is so powerful. So a little bit, you all are kind of already aware of the different platforms, and this is not even all of them. It's just some of them. But no matter which platform you decide to use, it's important that you adjust your content, like we've been saying, with everything to the audience that you are, to the platform that you're going to be using it on. So your audience may be the same, but the platform that you are using, you may need to adjust how you're sharing that information, right? Your audience may be women no matter what, but how I share that on Facebook is going to be different than how I share that on LinkedIn. And so this is kind of a snapshot of that, but I just kind of want to give a little bit more information. When you think about Facebook, right? Facebook is so good because you can share you can share articles, you can share videos, you can share links, you can share so much information on Facebook. You can create communities. I think it's so great for creating communities. I think about myself. I love buying wigs, and there's this particular company that I love to buy wigs from. And when I brought the wig and they mailed me the wig, they had this little card in there and said, "Join our Facebook community." I'm like, what? So I joined the Facebook community, and it's like all these other people that love the brand too. All these other people that, like, they are moving the brand for the people, right? So how can you create a platform where it builds engagement? Because again, this goes back to other topics we already talked about, but the goal is that your brand, your products, your service, what you are sharing, what you're writing about is not just the item, but how do people and how can people connect to the item? What's the story behind what you're doing? What is the reason behind? And now I can, as a consumer or a possible consumer of your service or a consumer of your product or a listener to your YouTube channel, whatever, I am now invested in it because I know the story behind it. And so how can you do that when you are sharing things so people can really understand not just the product, but the whole brand as a whole, and where you guys stand? What do you believe in? What do you do? So this is so important. Even social media, and I meant to share this example. It's a great way to share positivity. It's a great way for engagement, but it makes people feel a part of something bigger than themselves. It makes people feel connected. Social media, people respond quicker. There was a huge hotel chain. I'm not going to name the hotel chain that I stayed at, and the experience was so horrific that I stayed up to 2 o'clock in the morning, emailing, calling, trying to share my experience, trying to get a resolve for the horrible experience that I had. Do you know, I called, I emailed, everything. I didn't get a response. Of course, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. But I kid you not, I found their Facebook page, I found their Instagram, and I contacted them right away. The first response I got back was from the information that I put on social media. Now, the emails, the calls, I didn't get a response back for that right away, but I got a response back from the and it was not one of the generated ones. I'm talking about they personally emailed me and said, "We got your stuff from Facebook. Thanks for contacting me. This is what we're going to do to handle it." They were on it. They got me right to the right person. So I felt heard. Social media, that platform that they had, made me feel heard because whoever was working that, maybe they work it quicker. I don't know. But I felt heard. So social media can help your clients feel heard, your customers, your consumers feel heard, right? Because of the engagement piece. People say, you have an issue or a celebration, put it on social media. That company's going to address that, right? Because they know the impact of social media. So it can work for your good. It also can work for your growth. Okay. So look at it both ways, but it's a great opportunity and you definitely don't want to miss it. You definitely want to be sharing your brand. You definitely want to make sure that people know what you do and that they can connect to you because they want to align to you. They want to be there. Okay, so I went off on a tangent there. I talked a little bit about Facebook. Instagram, again, I'm not sharing with you guys stuff you don't know, but it's just serving as a reminder. This is where you want to post your photos. It's really about being visually appealing, right? Go check out a couple of different brands and you will know right away which one has spent time on their brand. You go to their cover page or their main page, everything will look aligned, it will look neat, it will be in their brand colors, it will be visually appealing, right? So you also can do reels and things like that, but think about that when you're thinking about the posting for Instagram. It needs to be visually appealing. So you might want to do a lot of photos, and again, you can do reels and things like that, but you're going to highlight your brand in a way that it is appealing. So just kind of remember that. You can do like the behind the scene moments, things are like that will be great content to share. TikTok. Now, this is really created for those videos, right? Yes, you can put it on Facebook and you can put it on Instagram, but TikTok is the video platform, right? It is created to create videos. So you can that commercial, right? I'm going to show you a commercial that Dove created that I love, but you can create your own type of commercial, right? You can be creative, right? They have trends and things like that, challenges and things that you can. How can I incorporate that in my brand to share that and get people connected to my brand? But that is definitely something that you can do for that. Twitter. Think about Twitter. There's a limited number of characters that you can use when you are sharing with Twitter. So you definitely have to make sure your message is very short and concise. But what you're doing there is you're redirecting them to another link or to additional information. You're going to use hashtags. You can use hashtags in the other ones as well, but hashtags are heavily encouraged to use on Twitter, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that when you're sharing your message on Twitter. LinkedIn, this is your professional place, especially if you want to do some business to business type of work, business to business collaborations. If you are wanting to post a job, if you are wanting just to network, this is a great place for you to show your expertise, to show that you are industry thought leader in whatever you're doing. This is just a great way to showcase your achievements, things like that, professional insight, articles, blogs, all of that is great. It's a learning environment as well. It's just a great platform for that. So make sure that if you're sharing a message, that's what you're doing for that. And I wanted to just kind of give you an example. If I was going to share one message, it's the same message, and I was going to share it on each platform. So I'm going to use an example of clothes because I love clothes, right? So if I had I'm launching or I'm showcasing my new spring line, right? If I was going to do that on Facebook, what I would do is share a photo of the new clothes, the new outfit arriving this spring. And then I would ask, because remember, Facebook is great for engagement. I would then ask followers which item they like most or which item were they most excited about, A, B, or C, just to get them talking and things of that nature and showcasing the new items that are coming in. On Instagram, the same thing. I'm talking about new items that are coming out this spring. I would make sure it's a stylish photo with the model wearing the new clothing. And then I would create relevant hashtags, bringing the spring in, spring styling, whatever I would want to use that would gather that audience, right? TikTok, that's where I would create a fun video with the model. Maybe I would use something trendy that's going on, like a new dance or something. Those are really big. But the model will be wearing the new spring line outfit. And then I would add text that would encourage the viewers to view the items, right? On Twitter, it would be just a short message about the new clothes line, but then I would share the link to the online store. And then, of course, I would use hashtags in Twitter, definitely using hashtags in Twitter and TikTok for sure. And then in LinkedIn, the same clothesline that I've been talking about on all the other platforms, I'm definitely going to talk about it on LinkedIn, but I'm going to do a reflection post about the new line and that about our brand's commitment to quality and innovation. And then I will highlight how this might be a great outfit for a professional or for whatever it may be. But that's how I would do that for LinkedIn. So again, the core message is the same, but how I share it is going to be different because the platform is different and the audience that will be attracted to read that is different, right? So keep that in mind. You can do that, and you can do that for your message for each platform. Again, there's more. I didn't talk about Snapchat and all that. I just talked about a few. So when you are creating your content, these are some things you want to keep in mind. It's important. Think about your headline. Think about if you were reading a newspaper or something, or think about the content that you currently read online and you see the headline, or you see the photo with the headline, right? It makes you want to click and move forward. So always think about that. What will engage people right away from the beginning to make them want to read more, make them want to go to the online store. And so it shouldn't be long. It should be very short. You can use action words, right? You can ask a question. It's so important you invoke emotions and things like that. So these are just different ways that you can do that. Also, again, we talked about storytelling. You can definitely incorporate storytelling into that. And so I'm going to give you an example of a headline for the clothing line example. I'll use the same clothing line example. So for Facebook, the headline could be our brightest spring collection yet. Shop the new arrivals. For Instagram, sunny days ahead, introducing our spring collection. For TikTok, I might say spring is here. Get the season's hottest look. For Twitter, just in. Shop our spring line for dreamy pastels and floral prints. Right? And then finally, LinkedIn, I would put, we're refreshing your wardrobe this spring. Learn about our latest innovative designs. So those are just examples. If I was going to do that, like I said, with a say I wanted to do a post and I wanted to do it in a storytelling way, right? And so again, this is just a short post that I would post. I'm going to do two examples. I'll do a Facebook example. So if I was going to post this on Facebook, I would say this spring collection was inspired by the sights of this coming season. Blooming gardens, natural bright colors, and joyful moments shared with friends. We hope these designs fill your wardrobe with the cheer of spring. Okay, then I'll put the pictures and then I can go back to the question, which one do you like most, or something like that, or which one excites you most. Now, if I was going to post something on LinkedIn and I want to do it in a storytelling way, I could put, the founder started this business with the dream of creating joyful clothing that celebrates the season. This spring collection upholds the vision, combining innovative fabrics, breathable content, and playful print designs to embrace the warmer weather. And so I made it in a story right? But it's totally different. I'm talking about the founder in this one. And the other one, it was just more about the clothing in spring and again, inviting engagement. So those are just brief examples that you can use, but just really keep that in mind when you are creating your stories. And some of the same things that you've already done in the previous class, you'll use those same techniques here, right? And so the most important thing is that you are getting your message out there. You are getting your message out there, and you are setting the tone, right? And making sure the tone is appropriate for each platform that you're using. So it's important too that, again, your content is relevant. You're consistent with your brand. This is so important, consistency with your brand. Make the emotion part there, high quality, all of this. These are tools that can only enhance your messaging. Okay, so you have the written content now, and now you're going to couple that with the visual content. Make sure that it matches. And some things, you don't have to add a photo or a thing depending on the platform you use. So you're really focusing on that writing content that is going to draw people to make them want to learn more. And so I gave another example here on the screen. I'm not going to go through that, but those are examples. I always wanted to include examples so that as you're creating your own, you kind of have a visual thing to see and something to read there. So I'll pause for a moment so you can look at that. Okay, so these are some brands that have done a great job of showcasing their stories. I'm only going to show one, but definitely look at these. These are really good. Nike has some great ones as well. But how can you create your own campaign, your own story? And how would you share that in a written format? Or how would you, and even when you create video content and all that, make sure that you're writing it first, right? You're writing what you're going to create. So that's a whole nother writing element too. Writing the scripts for your videos that you are going to create. Okay, but I'm going to just show this one if I can share my screen. Well, you know what I'm going to end up doing is, oh, here it is. So just give me one moment and I'm going to share that screen. So you'll just see me for a moment until I pull up this other screen that I'm going to share.
I'm a forensic artist, worked for the San Jose Police Department from 1995 to 2011.
I showed up to a place I'd never been, and there was a guy with a drafting board.
We couldn't see them, they couldn't see us.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
I kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm going to ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm going to ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
So here we are. This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
So yeah, that's...
She looks closed off and fatter, sadder too. The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. It couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
We spend a lot of time as women analyzing and trying to fix the things that aren't quite right. And we should spend more time appreciating the things that we do like.
Okay, I hope you could hear that. I'm not really sure, but it's just a beautiful campaign. They had the words going through at the bottom the whole time. And so when you're writing content, I wanted to just share an example of one of the campaigns that I thought did an excellent job of sharing their mission. So their mission is, real beauty, right? It's Dove, but their mission is real beauty. And like real women, real beauty. And so they have a lot of campaigns that I could have shown, but I thought that was just a great one to show because you really understand who they are as a company. So what can you create, whether it's in social media, whether it's in anything that we have talked about throughout these 9 weeks? What are you going to create that's going to share your message that is beyond just the service or the product? How are you going to share the essence of your brand, the essence of who you are? People are not just buying the service or the product, but they are investing in you. They're investing in all that is encompassed because they believe in or they support what the brand, the company supports and believes in, right? And so really think that way as you are creating different content, whether it is your resume, whether you're writing your story, whether you are doing your business plan, whether you're writing for a grant, whether you're creating your social media posts. It's so important to know who you are, what you believe in, have that foundation, because everything you create, everything that you put out in the world is going to fall back down to what you believe and who you are, right? And your business and your plan, all of that. And so spending that time writing that content, being very clear and concise on who you are, why you are, and what you do will help you to share your message no matter what platform, no matter where, right? No matter who, no matter if you're in a networking group, no matter if you're doing a pitch, your message is going to be clear and concise because you understand your message. That's clear and concise. And so I thank you guys so much for joining me over this last few weeks. Of course, you have your homework assignment, which is going to be to create some engaging content and share that. You have the upload of this information, but I want to thank you guys. I appreciate you for sharing this space and this time with me over the last few weeks. And again, I hope that something out of all these classes was shared that you really feel that you find value and that you know you can use to push your mission forward. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And until we meet again. I want to make sure I didn't share the final screen. And let me do that really quick. Your homework assignment. So just want to make sure that you've seen this. I forgot I got to talking and I got really passionate and forgot to share the screen of the homework assignment. So I will just let that show a little bit and then we will fade off. Thank you again.